Welcome to EDU World Space.
Now in this problem we have a monkey that's on a ladder. The ladder is, 3 meters long, and it makes an angle of 60 degrees with the horizontal. It's resting against the wall here and the floor here, and we're told that those are frictionless, so there's no there's no friction force in either of these locations, but there's a rope holding the ladder, supporting the ladder at the base by attaching the base of the ladder to the wall here so that it doesn't slip, so that this doesn't slip out. So we're asked a few things. First, we want to know what is the normal force at the base here. Well, first we're asked to draw a force body diagram, which I've done here with the red forces acting on the ladder. And then we want to know what this force is, and that's just simply the total weight of the ladder and the monkey. And using our numbers down here, we get that is 218 newtons. Then we want to figure out if the monkey is 2/3 the way up the ladder, how much tension is in this cable, or this rope. So we can take moments about this point, and the moment from the monkey is this. The moment from the rope is that. The moment from the normal force. And the moment from the weight of the ladder. Now, and that has to all sum to 0. If we substitute this into here and rearrange and do some simplifying, we see that the tension in the cable is proportional to G and times M over 2 plus M, little m, x over L, then the cotangent of the angle theta. So big mg here is the weight of the ladder, which is 120 newtons. Now we can see here too that really we don't really need to know the length of the ladder or the absolute length of the ladder or the absolute position of the monkey. We just need to know their ratio. Okay, so if the ladder was, so right now the monkey's 2 meters up the ladder, because he's 2/3 the way up. If the ladder were 6 meters, then the monkey could be 4 meters up the ladder and we'd still get the same tension. So we can see that the scaling is just x over L. And so if we plug all these things in, we get that the tension is 72.4 newtons, which means that we were told that the maximum this rope could hold was 80 newtons. So again, the monkey is not going to fall when he is, or she is, at 2 meters up the ladder, or 2/3 the way up the ladder of whatever length it is. Then we are asked to figure out the maximum distance the monkey can climb before the tension exceeds 80 newtons. And in that case, we can then come back here and solve for x. And see, we find out that x is given by this expression. And now we assume that the tension is 80 newtons, and we plug in all of our numbers, and we get that x equals 2.4, not newtons, meter. And again, we can see that it's really x over L that matters here, because we could divide through by an L here, and we can see that it's really that no matter what L is, we could get the ratio here. And so here it's, let's see here, 2.4, 24 over 30 would be 12/15, 4/5. And so 4/5 the way up the ladder, he would fall, and it would be no matter how long the ladder was, it would always be 4/5. So if the ladder were 5 meters long, he could go 4 meters up. Then they ask us how this analysis would change if instead we had the rope, we had a friction in the floor. Well, now this would just be a friction force, and we would know what its maximum value was, and its maximum value would then depend on what this is. So if we were told that the monkey was this far, 2/3 the way up the rope or the ladder, and then we knew what this was, we could make sure that this force here was less than the friction coefficient times this load here. And in other case, in this case, we would just take instead of t being 80, we would take mu times the normal load, and that would be the critical. If we would give a mu and then we know the normal load in terms of the weight, then we would know what the critical value is, and so then we could figure out the critical distance the monkey could climb before the ladder slipped, and the friction force was no longer able to overcome the force that wants to make the ladder slip.